What's going on, everybody? It's your man Josiah Corker, And today we got another episode of the Josiah Corporate Show. That song right there is the song that I made myself. So if y'all like it, make sure y'all comment, show your boy some love so I can make some more music. I'm working on an album, working on a clean love playlist for the married couples out there that don't want to make love to music talking about people cheating. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's clean. You know what I'm saying? You can play it in the car with your children, and they won't suspect a thing. But I'm ready to get to it today, guys. But yeah, I really like that song. I made that song. Wrote that song on the way home to my wife. So yeah, tell me what you think about it. Well, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Are barbers robbing their clients in 2026? We got some videos clipped up. Let's find the first one. Let's find the first one. I think this is it right here. Yeah, this is the first one. Let's go ahead and get to it. How are we looking? All right, so that's not the way it's supposed to look. Okay, go ahead and edit the entire screen now. Current application. There we go, guys. And I've been downloading the videos because hopefully that gives y'all a better quality stream. So let's go ahead and better quality product. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and stop it right there, brother. Do you get black spray? Do you ask for black spray, brother? And saying that no haircut should cost more than $50 is like saying, oh, well, their shirts shouldn't cost any more than $10 because of the materials. So what people are doing is they're using logic, like logically, a bag that costs, let's just say $400 to make, you shouldn't be able to sell it for 4,000. But we live in America, the land of capitalism, where you can charge whatever the hell you want. Let's continue. But the black spray thing, that's diabolical. Now I do feel what you're saying if you're talking about covering up your work with black spray. You know what I'm saying? But I grew, you know what I'm saying? I kind of came up around barbers that was on square business that was really about giving a quality haircut without the black spray. You know what I'm saying? A barber by the name of Gino. I'm not gonna tell you the people that he cuts, but Gino Barber, it's my dog. Shout out to Gino. Thank you, brother. When I first started cutting around him, when I first got into the suite that I now own. So I was in the suite renting, now I own the salon suite. Not the building yet. But he checked every single haircut that I did. And I worked towards the back of the shop so that he saw them walking out. And if it wasn't good, he grabbed them, pointed out the issue, and sent them back. So for people who are just trying to get over, people who aren't doing quality work, I can see why people are frustrated about paying certain prices. But for people who are doing very detailed work, and people who are doing very detailed work, man, that lasts beyond the black spray. Unless you need the black spray. If you need the black spray to keep a certain look, then it is what it is. But if you don't need it, the haircut should stand up. I think he capped. Unless, I think he said he went to a celebrity barber in Miami. So number one, Miami is, one of the, I don't know this for a fact, but I know it's expensive in Miami, especially Brooklyn. One of my old mentors, he lives there, and everything is expensive. Everything is expensive, and the food is trash. So like now, I don't know why people don't complain more about everything else except for barbers. You know what I mean? I think that's just the closest thing to people, so they can kind of lash out at them. You know what I'm saying? Kick the dog a little bit. I wonder what he does. What he does. Cause I see like Patrick Surtain, Patrick Surtain. So he may be a football player. I don't know who he is, and if I don't really watch sports like that, so forgive me. But like, why do people get paid millions of dollars to dribble balls and put them in the hole? Why do people get paid millions of dollars to throw balls and catch them and see who can intercept the balls first? You see what I'm saying? You see how like when you take a dump on what somebody does, like if that's who I think it is, he's been playing with balls his whole life. But you see how I just simplified what he did and made, oh well, why does he get paid $1 million? Because there's people who value what he does. Now I'm never gonna be the person to tell somebody they're charging too much. I'm going to tell people they're charging too little. But the same way that you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't dump on, as long as people are doing uh, things things for money, as long as they're earning money legally and morally. And by that I mean like, hey, look what they're doing to bring to pay the what they're doing to feed their family is legal and moral. I don't think you should dump on what that person does. Now you can complain, because I mean that seems like kind of what this is. It's just complaining. You know what I mean? You know, yeah. It's like, yeah, bro. Like, do you think niggas should get paid millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars? You know what I'm saying? 20, 30, $40 million a year to dribble balls and play with balls. But we got teachers who are making $70,000 a year who are raising people nappy headed, naughty headed kids. But that's my opinion on that video. That's my take on that video. But I think he was a lot more understanding, whoever that is. Close Sunday Pod and Wave. So close Sunday Pod. You know what I'm saying? I His take was solid, but only paying $50. You know what I'm saying? You can go watch Rec Ball for free. You know what I'm saying? You can go watch Rec Ball for free, or you pay a little $5, $10 or whatever. You go watch a Rec Ball game. You know what I'm saying? You go watch a local high school game, $10, $20, and it'd be more entertaining and more interesting and more tactical than the NFL game. The way stuff going today. Why do you think people watch college football and college basketball? Like people just watch the NFL and the NBA just because that's what they're accustomed to. But people who really follow sports, all they know the best sports are in college and high school. Come on now. Next video. I'm trying to get the ones out of the way that's not really supporting barbers, or that's like not really on the barber side. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get that out. Get that out. All right. This is 1993 B clips. Shout out to you, brother, for weighing in on the barber pricing situation. Let's get to it. Oh, see, my problem with that is this, right? People talk about, a haircut on the last, maybe 2 weeks. I mean, there's a lot of things that are one-time use items that you only use once. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Plan B is $50. You know what I'm saying? You got the hair, you spent the money on a haircut so that you can go smash irresponsibly. And now you got to spend $50 on the plan B. It's probably more now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel you, but a lot of the logic don't. He didn't say that, but I'm just saying a lot of the logic don't really logic. I think people are really just complaining. I think barbers are an easy target. You know what I mean? Because barbers are always kind of been there for people, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't when you feeling tough, you don't go talk to your dad like that because you know that nigga is said put hands on you. And you know what I'm saying? You don't go talk to the principal like that. You know what I'm saying? Who's going? You know what I'm saying? You feeling mad about the homework you got? You're not going to the principal. You're going to your teacher. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. I want to see if he's going to like explain his reasoning. Let's see. Okay, so he's contradicting himself at this point. I want to let him get his stuff off, but he just said the most a haircut should cost is $35 without the tip, max. But he's saying you should, but don't get me started on sports clips because they're gonna mess you up. Let's see how much sports clips charges just where I'm at. Let's pull up the old Google. Come on, Google. Now. All right, now you bouncing too much. Let's just go with this one. Sports. Sport. Hold on, let me make sure it's okay. It's not showing. Let me make sure I'm. I think I did something wrong. Let's see if I can minimize this. Oh, I done put a color on it. I done messed up. Done. Current application. Boom. There we go. There we go. All right, brotherine. So you're saying that, okay, can I scroll over? Or am I going to have to increase this? No, it's not working. Boom. There we go. Yeah, I done figured out we locked in now. All right. So my boy said, brotherine said, let me put that back the way it was. Give me 1 second, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Your boy still figuring this streaming stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Learning on the go. You feel me? He said, okay, he said 30 to 35 max. AI overview. Sports clips prices vary by location, but since stores are independently owned, but accept a basic haircut to expect, my bad, this lady, y'all, but expect a basic haircut to be $25 to $35. An MVP experience will give you another $3 to $7. So people are expecting a premium luxury boutique product service, but for generic Walmart quality, like generic Walmart prices. I just showed you right here, and there's nothing wrong with sports clips. But if you don't want sports clips quality, then you're going to have to expand your budget. Your budget. Bucko. Let's go back to the video. I'm gonna rewind it so we can hear what he said. Well, there you go, right there, sports clips. It seems like you should be getting clips haircuts, brother, because what you're asking for versus what you're willing to pay is not worth. It doesn't add up. For example, and this dude, I'm sure he's like a big streamer, stuff like that. This is just a, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my first few streams or whatever. But I think, let me see if I have it in here. Okay. So this is a Louis Vuitton beanie, right? Now, is it like necessarily worth, and this was a gift, by the way, from one of my clients. This Louis Vuitton beanie. I don't know if you guys can see how much. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know if it's gonna let me. Hopefully y'all can see that. But this Louis Vuitton beanie is $560, right? The New Balance Scully he had on, or like skull cap or whatever. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm gonna explain it because they're both, you know what I'm saying, like head coverings. You can consider them like a hat or something like that, right? That New Balance one. If let's just say he paid retail for it, it may have been like, you know, $35, $40, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know, but and this is more drastic, but that's basically like him being like, you know what, Louis Vuitton beanies shouldn't be any more than $35 because that's what I paid for my New Balance cover. You see the logic? It don't make sense. You just dumped on sports clips because people be leaning, but sports clips charge the prices that you talking about, dog. No, you smoking crack, my nigga. Look at this, look at this. A basic haircut at sports clips gonna run you $25, $35, my nigga. So people are really unrealistic about what they expect to get, and a $15 difference ain't that much to not have your joint leaning. It looked like my brother got some locks or something like that. How long it take you to grow them locks out, big dog? They look like they got a little hang time on them or whatever. If those are locks, I can't quite see the best. You know what I'm saying? Like just because, let me turn my brightness up. It appears that those are locks right there, right? Your beard, you feel me? How much is it worth for somebody? How much is it worth to you, sir, that somebody doesn't cut off a couple of your locks on accident because they don't know what they're doing because they cutting hair part time? How much is it worth to you to not get your beard that's right here at your lip, at the bottom of your lip, pushed down to your chin, brother Reem? So, I mean, I would assume, you know, if it took you years to grow those locks out, I mean, I don't think $15 would be that big of a difference, in my opinion. I really want to cut the video off, because he already, you know what I'm saying, logic flawed, but you know what I'm saying. Let's keep rolling. Let's get past this sports clips part. So you want the F up? You want the F up? You say you want to pay $35, or you don't mind you don't mind blunt fingers in your nose. Their brothers had bad haircut experiences. So what I think is going on is you have a lot of barbers that aren't good that are just charging a lot of money. Now, am I the best barber in the world? No. Am I the cheapest barber in the world? No. Am I the most expensive barber in the world? No. But I do an extremely good job at what I do. So I can just tell kind of by how he said that he doesn't really, he hasn't had any really good barber experiences. He hasn't. Because the barber that's rushing you, hot top, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, generally a barber who, and don't get me wrong, you can be rushing. Oh, okay. And if y'all hear like chirping in the background, we just had some chicks. You know what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High. We got 7 chicks. We got some more in the incubator right there, thanks to our neighbors who let us use their incubator. You know what I'm saying? But back on track. Yeah, man, that brother ain't had no good barber experiences. And man, it's rare that people actually find a good barber. I'm starting to notice that. And then you have like good barbers, and then you have barbers that are good and they're good at what they do. You know what I mean? So yeah, bruh. Cause what he just talked about was somebody who's trying to make sure they give you exactly what you want. See, at the top, at the higher levels of barbering and haircutting, you're dealing with individuals who are trying to give you exactly what you want, to where they're catering the experience around you. For example, there are certain drinks that I have in my shop there for my clients. There are certain snacks and stuff that I have for my clients that I get them specifically for those clients. It's one drink that I got for my client. It's actually fairly good. I don't drink zero sugar sweet drinks like that, but it's like a zero sugar thing from Sam's. My client, he was like, man, I only drink water and I drink this one other drink. Ask him what it was. I make sure I keep it in stock for him so that every time he gets out the chair, he has one of those that's cold. But if that's not something you value, you go here. You know what I mean? You go here, you spend that 35. So I'm gonna put it like this, right? The reason, perfect example. I have a client. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real fast, actually. So one of my clients, he did something recently called like the Porsche experience with Delta. Oh, I already got it pulled up. Let's see what I can do. He did something called the Porsche experience with Delta. Let me see if he put it on there. It's probably under his reels. Is this it? Yeah, so this is it right here. I'm gonna hold on, let me put the music on. In 1 second, y'all. Yeah, I cut his hair for that. Nigga cold. But what I will say is this. You can't be expecting to pay this. You can't be expecting to pay this and get that type of service. Now, do I provide that type of service? Not yet. I actually asked them, how the experience was in detail so that I can learn how to incorporate certain things like that into my own business so that I can provide a premium experience that you can't go anywhere else and get. I'm sure Frontier doesn't have that same service. You know what I mean? Or if they do, it's not as good. So like that's like booking a regular plane ticket and expecting to get concierge service all the way up to your flight. You know what I mean? Like that experience, that type of service, that type of um, how can I put it? Just quality of life you can attain for the price of a regular plane ticket. Delta can't provide you that for the price of a regular plane ticket. It doesn't make good business sense. So to expect a barber to give you a white glove champagne bottle service, but you have a beer budget or you want to spend beer money, it logically doesn't add up. And that's the problem I think people are running into. And I'm going to hold the barbers accountable as well. Uh, so with barbers, I do see a lot of barbers that aren't, striving and actually providing that white glove champagne level service to their clients. They're just getting by and charging as much as they can and kind of just robbing the bank. And that's not good. It gives us all a bad look, especially barbers like myself. There's a lot of great barbers that I know first personally, and that I just see on social media that are doing their best to provide a great service, great experience, great atmosphere for their clients. And you have somebody who's doing the bare minimum and really having bad habits, smoking and not wearing gloves and still cutting their clients. Just just certain, and that for me that's a big pet peeve, and I keep bringing it up because that's something that I used to do and I grew from. It's just like, man, if you want to charge a higher price, there's a certain level of professionalism that should come with that. There's a certain level of skill that you would assume should come with that, and there's also a level of experience and customer service that should come with that as well. But bro, he don't know what he's talking about. He's funny though. Let's find this one. All right, this is another one. This is the alternative. And there's nothing wrong with this. But if you don't want that, pay more. One of my favorite YouTubers, Showbiz Adult, he told me, and some barbers won't like this. Well, he didn't tell me, but he was on live and he was talking about how when he was kind of down bad, and the only really shoes he could, like the only nice shoes he could afford to spend money on was work shoes at the moment because he had to get interviews and get, like moved up the corporate ladder and stuff like that. So his regular shoes, like regular shoes or whatever, had holes in them. And he was sitting in the barber who he could afford's chair, and he was looking at the barber that he wanted to be up, that he couldn't afford, but that the barber chair he wanted to actually sit in. And that's somebody who they didn't tell, what I'm saying? They didn't look at the barber who they aspired to get a haircut from. They didn't look at that barber and say, "Oh, you should charge less. You should be more affordable. You should do this. You should do that, or whatever." No, he got himself together. He got his bread up, and then when he could afford that barber, that's who he went to. That's who he went to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you like, and this is for anybody watching this. If you want something more in life, that's okay, but don't want to bring other people down in order to what I'm saying, bring them down to your level. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to do that because then everybody's the same. And if everybody's special, nobody's special. If everybody's rich, nobody's rich. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be. I'm not saying that people have to be poor or people aren't necessarily special. What I mean is, if there's no difference between default and premium, if there's no difference between basic level and high level, then what are we doing? What are we all doing this for? If there's no difference between average and amazing, why the hell are we watching people in the NBA and the NFL? Right? Because we people like seeing people, experiencing people at the pinnacle of whatever that profession is. And it's enjoyable. And people are willing to pay a lot of money for that. I just talked about people who make millions of dollars for putting balls through hoops. Doing something that niggas do in the YMCA, in LA Fitness for free. Come on now. And he's starting off good though. I'm not. This isn't to him. This is just the people. Hey, you know what? Speaking of premium, when you buy a luxury car, you can't put 87 in it. You gotta use 93. Like, don't buy a premium car if you don't want to put 93 in it. If 93 is not in your budget, don't buy a luxury car or drive less. If you like to drive, buy a car that takes 87 or that can take 91. And that's for the people who, so in what I'm seeing is there's two sets of people, right? You have the set of people who don't really understand anything. You know, you got the people who want something for nothing. And that's most people. And then you have the people who, you know, really cannot afford a certain price point. I had a conversation with a brother, and he was like, "Man, bro, you're it. I just can't afford you all the time, and I got my son." So I was like, "You know what? We'll figure something out. We'll figure out something that works with you and your budget, to where you can, you know what I'm saying, get haircuts enough to where you can stay, you can continue to come to me on a consistent basis, and then you can, you know what I'm saying, and then you can get your son's haircut, and I'll structure it in a way to where, you know what I'm saying, it'll be affordable for you. You know what I mean? Because I understand some people simply can't afford it and they want to patronize you. Um, and yeah, let's let him cook. He's doing very well. And not only a premium haircut, but once you get past a certain price point, barbers, it's not only about the haircut. It's about the service, and by that I mean customer service and the client experience. So there's certain ways you can make up for things. So like this is like a room in my basement right now, and if I wanted to cut hair out of here, let's just say I turned it into a barbershop or whatever. Well, like yeah, it's in my house, but there's other ways I can elevate the experience. So you're not locked into a box with things. So there's one thing that you can't necessarily control, then you just make up for it in other ways. You have to get creative. But if there are things that you can control, for example, whether you're getting drunk at the barbershop, whether you're stepping out in the middle of a haircut, right before a haircut, taking smoke breaks, you know, while you have a client waiting. And I'm saying this because I used to do these things. Now, granted, I would only do it, with clients who kind of smoke too and stuff like that when I didn't really have, what I'm saying, when it wasn't as much time. But that's something I graduated from, man, because I had to start taking myself serious, especially if I wanted other people to take me serious. Um, yeah, but he's cooking though. Who was that, man? What's his name? I'm trying to find his name. God, dog. Let me see if I can turn my brightness down so I can get. That was a very great video, man. Not just because he was supporting barbers, but because he was being freaking reasonable. Man, if you guys can find, like, it's like kind of covered up by white. But man, man, shout out to you, bro. That was a very good take. I'm gonna keep it being with you, man. All right, and I believe this may be. Okay, we got a couple more videos. The Barber Supply Co. I think he may be located in Cali, so that haircut prices may be a little bit more there. But what he's getting ready to touch on is facts. I'm gonna just go ahead and let him cook. I can already see where he's going. The Barber Plug Supply. Solid video that came from a barber. I agree with him 100%. Not because he's a barber. Let me actually go back to the. What was that? I don't agree with him just because he's a barber, but I agree with him because um, when it comes down to looking back at memories and stuff like that, and you go back and look at a picture where you was looking goofy, you're like, man, wow, I'm looking terrible. Like you don't want to look back at your memories and look at yourself like, dang, bro, I was like a Neanderthal. What was I doing? And now I don't agree with what he said about that haircut is going to, what I'm saying? You're going to find out that you needed that haircut more than that haircut needed you. I don't agree with that. I, not too long ago, I would have, but because of the state of the world, I'm not gonna blame it on the economy, but just because, hey, people's dollars ain't stretching as much, people are living off of credit or whatever. I've been doing everything in my power to accommodate my clients, whatever I need to do. Like this morning, I'll show you guys my books because that'll just kind of show you the type of barber that I am, the type of person that I'm becoming. Um, I had a client hit me up last night or hit me up yesterday. It's like, hey man, can you get me in the morning? Now, mind you, I had a funeral to go to today, and I also had a um, baby shower to go to today. Couldn't make the baby shower because I ended up having somebody on the books, and I wasn't gonna be able to, I wasn't gonna be able to make both of them. But I went to the funeral today, so my time was pretty limited. So I had a client hit me up. This is a house call client. He was like, "Hey man, can you get me in the morning?" I was like, brother, I don't know. I was like, the only time I got open is 6. Bet, locked him in for 6. Worked for him. I had another client. Hey, bro, I need a cut in the morning. I was like, bro, the only time I got was I think like a 9 o'clock. He was like, bro, anything like 5 or whatever. And I was like, bet. And mind you, it's like 10 o'clock when he hit me up. I, hey man, I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Pulled up on time, got him in and out on time, made my house call. I was a little late to that, but not crazy late to that. And yeah, man, had another house call today. And what the message I'll say for barbers is this: if you, especially when you get to the premium price points, but I'll say keep this mentality now. Go above and beyond for your clients, so that when you raise your prices, you would have treated them so well they won't want to go anywhere else. And you have to charge a price that you don't mind going up. I live an hour away from my shop. So when I said like I had to be to the shop at 5, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So you don't think I don't mean 5 p.m. either. I mean 5 a.m. Turn the other way. I don't know if you guys can see that. 5 a.m. And then a 6 a.m. house call. I had to get up at 3 o'clock to make that happen. And I found out at like 10 and some change. I took my butt to bed, got up on time, got out the house. Now, do I use, is that the norm? Is that the everyday? No. But when you're trying to make sure that you secure and maintain a business, personal relationship with somebody, you got to be willing to make certain sacrifices and accommodate people in order to make sure you keep that relationship together. Just like any other relationship. If your brother called you and was like, "Hey man, I got a flat tire. Are you, man, I'm stranded, bro. I can't get a hold of anybody else." Are you not going to get your butt out the bed and go help your brother out? You should have that same level of, how can I put it? That same level almost of urgency for your people, especially if you continue to build a clientele. Now, do what I say, go back on the commitments you make with yourself, your family for that? No, as long as it's reasonable. As long as it's reasonable. I want to play one more video and I want to tell you a story that is not my client, someone else's client shared with me, and we're gonna wrap the video up after that. So this is Cole's Cuts brand. I rock with him. Solid dude, solid barber. I haven't met him in person. I would love to meet him in person, but I have not yet. But I love his takes. He holds the barbers accountable, and he holds the clients accountable too. I'm gonna say this. What I noticed when I'm not by any means super successful on social media, but when my videos started taking off, I knew I was doing good when I started getting people hating on my content for no reason. And I'm not, I don't like saying this, but any man who has the time, effort, and energy to go comment on another man's post that has no direct effect on them is probably losing their life in some way. They may have money, but they may not be the king in their own home. They may be the king in their own home, may not have money. There's they can't be winning at life, and by winning at life, I don't mean, oh, I'm this millionaire, rich person. I'm super fit. No, what I mean by winning at life is that you progressing, that you're moving towards the goal that God sets you on. Anybody who's moving towards that goal actively, that moving towards the goal for the mission that God set them on, they ain't got time, the effort, or energy to be commenting on another nigga post. And another, like, man, people like that. Like, I had a client once. He would not let me record him because he had trolled so many other people. He was so paranoid of being trolled back because of all the trolling he had did. And I know he wouldn't win that life. I know he wasn't. And by winning, he wasn't happy with where he was. Well, I won't say that. He wasn't content with where he was. Let's look up the word contentment. Make sure we're good. Contentment is a state of peaceful satisfaction and acceptance with one's current life, involving inner peace and appreciation for what one has, rather than a constant craving for more, acting as a stable foundation for well-being. A state of happiness or satisfaction. That's the AI answer, but the dictionary definition is a state of happiness or satisfaction. The brother wasn't happy with where he was, man. The Bible says godliness with contentment is great gain. Being satisfied with doing the right thing is great gain. Bro wasn't happy with where he was, so he lashed out and commented on people's posts. So what I'll say to you, to barbers, is this: continue to show people why why you should be getting paid 100, 200, 300, 75, whatever amount of dollars it is that you charge, and stand on that and continue to progress. Not so that you can continue to charge a higher dollar amount, but so that you can stamp yourself and establish yourself in your community, in your household, in the hearts and minds of your clients, that you are worth what you charge, and that you're worth more than what you charge, and that they would have to go through hell and high water to be able to replace you. That's what we should be doing as barbers. Not, you know what I'm saying, retaliating against people who are, in a way, nobodies. That's what do they call it? 30 seconds, 5 seconds of fame, whatever it is. We let them rock out, man. Thanks. And that's one thing that I'll say, man. I'm so grateful for my client. Number one, I did a great job. I almost knocked my camera over. But great take, Cole Cuts, man. I'm gonna probably reach out to you, brother. You know what I mean? I'm probably gonna reach out to you soon. Uh, for sure. You know what I mean? I like what you're doing. Heard some stuff about your story and whatnot, man. Seems like he'll be a real dope brother to, connect with and whatnot. Whenever the occasion and time arises. But yeah, man, like, and another thing I'll say for clients, look, if you have a barber that you really enjoy, you like him as a person, and you bring something up to him, let's just say the weed fingers, you know what I'm saying? Or let's just say he always smells like weed. Hey man, look, man, like every time you come here, you smell like weed. It's kind of offensive to me, blah, blah, blah. If they brush it off and it means something to you, you gotta go elsewhere. If something means something to you that's bothering you and it's affecting you, and they're just not ignoring it, you gotta move elsewhere. Let them learn with your absence. Let them learn with your absence. And barbers, don't be so prideful because honestly, it's pride. People say it's the ego. It's pride. It's pride. Don't be so prideful that that you're not willing to change for your good. This is the story. It was a barber who was very prideful about their policies. And it was a client that they had for a very long time that just needed, that was trying to make a situation work to where they could continue to come with them. But it wasn't outside of the normal hours. Now look, guys, don't go in the comments. You don't know the situation. So please do not speak on the situation as if you know. This client told me this out of his mouth, and I'm not disclosing everything because I don't want to give away who it is. That barber has since made an adjustment and is doing better now. But it ended up resulting in them in losing a client that really loved that barber, and that barber meant a lot to that client. Okay? So in saying that, the client just needed a little wiggle room on the time frame. It was not an unreasonable ask because that was the only time that the client was going to be able to actually get a haircut because of just what they had going on in personal life and stuff like that. And that barber had since reduced their hours a lot to where it was really hard for just clients in general to be able to get in with them with yeah with that barber. And it was just very, very limited time frame. And barbers, what I'll tell you is this: don't be so prideful that you end up degrading what it is that you got in this business to do. Let's just be honest. Yes, we all, there's some of us that may be artists, some of us that may take pride in that smile, that satisfaction that a client gets when they look in the mirror at their haircut. But we wouldn't be doing this for free. So we're in this thing to make money at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we need to put our clients first. Yes, we need to make sure we put quality and all these other things first. But ultimately, we're in the business of making money. So don't let your pride put yourself in a position that's opposite of what you got in this whole game for. Okay? So that's my take. Shout out to Cold Cuts Brand. I'll probably be reaching out to the brother soon, but that's all I got for you guys. I love you guys. Jesus loves you too. Like, comment, subscribe. Go to war in the comments. Make sure you hype the video as well. Peace.